Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cruising with Matthew. In this video, I'm going to give you a ship tour of P&O's Arcadia, which I sailed on for a festive mini cruise to Amsterdam, so I really hope you enjoy this video. Now, Arcadia was launched in 2005, weighing in at 84,000 gross tons, with a passenger capacity of 2,000 passengers and 860 crew across 11 passenger decks. She's also an adults-only ship, being the second oldest and smallest ship in the P&O fleet, with the exception of Aurora, who is also adults-only. I was so excited to sail on Arcadia, as I've been trying for many years, but our schedules never seem to line up, especially as Arcadia tends to do longer cruises. So when we saw this 4-night cruise to Amsterdam, we jumped at the chance, and we were really looking forward to spending a few nights on board to help us get into the Christmas spirit. So without further ado, let's take a look around. Starting midships on deck 1, we encounter the lowest level of Arcadia's 3-deck tall atrium. I do love the Tiffany glass ceiling, as it looks really impressive when you see it for the first time. The grand set of stairs also gives a sense of occasion as you move between decks and offers some great photo opportunities, especially on formal nights. However, I can't get my head around this beige blank bit of wall which is situated on deck 2, and I can't help but think they could have put a mural or something there, as I'm sure that would look really nice and liven this space up a little bit. On deck 1 of the atrium itself, there's a handful of sofas, which is a good spot to sit back and take in the views of the atrium, as well as being a good meeting point if you're with friends or family in other cabins. Nearby, you'll find the reception desk, which is the place to go if you have any ship-based queries on board. Across the atrium, you'll find the shore excursions desk, which is where you can purchase trips organised by P&O themselves. On this cruise, we decided to purchase one of these for a short canal cruise around Amsterdam, which was lots of fun and provided a good amount of insightful commentary about the history of this incredible city. Now, there's almost always cheaper third-party alternatives to what is offered on board, so do take a look around. However, we decided to do this on a spur of the moment, and largely because it was so convenient for us. On this level of the atrium, you'll also find the Loyalty and Cruise Sales Office, which is where you can discuss any questions you may have about the Peninsula Club, which is P&O's loyalty program. You can also discuss booking any future cruises with P&O as well. Now, leaving the atrium, you come across 2 outward-facing panoramic lifts on both her port and starboard sides. Running from decks 1 to 11, they offer some fantastic views, especially when the ship is at sea, so do make sure you keep an eye out for those. Moving to the very front of deck 1, you'll find the Palladium Theatre. This has to be the best theatre on any P&O ship, as it spans 3 decks and offers a vast amount of seating for the size of ship. We never had an issue getting any seats here, although there are a few spots where columns obstruct your view, so do be careful of that. During our cruise, we were treated to guest entertainers like the Arcadia, which celebrated rock and roll in the 50s and 60s, as well as Marcia Lynette, who was a Whitney Houston tribute artist. These were both really good fun to listen to. However, the true highlights were the performances by the headliners theatre company. This included Mr. Tickerton's Clockwork Circus and included an incredible version of Sondheim's Send in the Clowns. As this was a festive cruise, we also got to see Deck the Halls, which showcased all the Christmas hits ranging from Elton John to Slade, which was lots of fun to listen to. As part of their festive programme, we also got to see a separate pantomime cast perform Jack and the Beanstalk, which was extremely popular and everyone really seemed to enjoy themselves. Now, moving up to deck 2 and leaving the Palladium on its middle level, we pass through the Rising Sun pub. It felt really cozy and seemed to be a lovely place to sit back and relax. During the day, you can try your hand at various trivia games, play a few games of darts, or catch up on any major sporting events here thanks to the numerous TV screens. In the evening, it's a popular place to grab a drink and listen to various live music performances here. Karaoke is often on offer here as well, so you can sing a few songs yourself if you dare. Nearby, you'll find Arcadia's casino. This features a good number of slot machines, tables and various games, so if you're feeling lucky, then this is the place to go. Moving along this deck, we encounter the Clarendon Fine Art Gallery. Although I doubt we'll ever be in a position to buy art on a cruise, we really enjoyed walking through this space and having a look at the various pieces of art on show here. Nearby you'll find the Globe, which is a lounge that hosts a variety of activities throughout your cruise. During the day, there's various talks held here, such as on our cruise we went to see one covering the greatest art heists in history. You'll also find things like bingo being held here, as well as rehearsals for the Arcadia vocalists. In the evening, this area becomes a popular entertainment venue where you can listen to Pulse, the resident band on board. For our cruise, this was wonderfully festive, with both the band and singers being really talented and full of energy. There's also a dance floor in the centre of the venue, which is perfect for if you want to dance the night away. Plus, you can keep going into the small hours, as there's also a late night DJ set held here. Moving midships, we find ourselves in the middle level of Arcadia's atrium, where you'll find the Ocean Grill, Arcadia's extra charge steak and seafood restaurant costing £18 per person, featuring a menu made in conjunction with Marco Pierre White. This is a really interesting restaurant as it doesn't exist on any other P&O ship, so we just had to try it, for research purposes of course. We really enjoyed our meal here on embarkation day, with the service feeling attentive without being over the top, which was a great way to relax after a busy day of travelling down to Southampton. The food itself was fabulous, with there being generous portion sizes and great tasting food throughout. Therefore, I'd really recommend giving this venue a go, especially as you won't find it on any other P&O ship. Leaving the Ocean Grill, you'll find Intermezzo, which is Arcadia's champagne and cocktail bar. Here you can sit back and catch up with friends and family whilst enjoying a few drinks before dinner, as well as being able to take in the views from the numerous picture windows as well. Now, lovers of the glass house on P&O's newer ships will be happy to hear that on occasional sea days during your cruise, they will have a pop-up restaurant in Intermezzo where there's a more condensed glass house menu and offers another alternative dining venue on board. Moving further aft, we encounter the Spinnaker Bar. Inspired by the glamour of yachting, this is another great spot to enjoy a few post-dinner drinks. I especially enjoyed the various nautical themed touches dotted around this space. For instance, this bell is actually from the original Arcadia built in 1954, which the ship geek in me absolutely loved. Now, right at the back of the ship, you'll find the lower level of the 2-deck tall Meridian restaurant. This is Arcadia's main dining room and offers breakfast, lunch and dinner throughout your cruise at no extra charge. Breakfast and lunch are served under open sitting, whilst for dinner you're allocated to either club dining, which is where you can dine at the same time and at the same table for the duration of your cruise, in either first or second sitting, which is at 6:15 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. respectively. Alternatively, you can opt for freedom dining, where you can dine at any time between 6 and 9:30 p.m. Although we only dined here on a few occasions, we thought that the food was fairly good and they did a great job accommodating Yean's dairy intolerance. Now, moving up to deck 3, we'll move further forward and pass through the photo gallery. Although it didn't seem in use during our cruise, it's the place to go where you can purchase any photos taken by the ship's onboard photographer. There was also a small pop-up florist shop nearby, so if you're wanting to surprise a loved one with some flowers or just to get some for yourself, then this is the place to go. There's also a small duty-free where you can stock up on tobacco, spirits or liquor. Returning midships, we find the piano bar, which occupies the whole upper level of the atrium. During our cruise, it was a really popular spot to sit back and relax with a nice drink. I also love the fact there were lots of windows here as well, so you could take in the views outside, as well as admire the Tiffany glass centerpiece, which you're close up to as well. Although it was occasionally difficult to grab a seat, I really enjoyed the space, especially as all the festive decorations made this area feel nice and cozy. Moving further forward, we passed through a number of shops, which sold everything from yet more alcohol choices, jewellery, makeup, clothes, and even a few P&O branded souvenirs. Naturally, we just had to get an Arcadia branded teddy to add to our ever-expanding collection at home. Adjacent, you'll find the library, which felt like a really cozy and relaxing space, offering a good selection of books. There's also a small area to play a number of board games, as well as some PCs, where you can get online using the ship's Wi-Fi. Overall, I thought this was a really nice cozy area on board, and I'm sure I'd use this a lot, especially on one of Arcadia's longer trips. Nearby, there's Cafe Vivo, which serves a variety of hot and cold drinks, including Costa Coffee and Tea Pigs. There is some seating situated nearby, but it can get quite busy, especially on sea days. Next door, you'll find the screening room, which is a wonderful dedicated cinema room on board Arcadia. Here you can watch a film relaxing in these large reclining leather chairs. I was quite impressed to see that they do show a number of recent releases, so if you missed seeing a film in the cinema at home, you may well get a chance to see it during your cruise. Nearby you'll find the Ocean Room, which for our cruise hosted Creative Waves, P&O's Arts and Crafts program. Here you can pay a nominal fee and take part in a variety of arts and crafts sessions, which I thought was a lovely idea and a great way to pass the time on a sea day. Moving to the very front of Deck 3, there's the upper level of the Palladium Theatre. As we've already discussed this, we'll step out onto Arcadia's Promenade deck. This has to be one of my favourite parts of the ship, as Arcadia features a wide, fully wraparound promenade deck. It's sadly a rare feature on board newer ships, so whenever we get a promenade like this one, we really try and make the most out of it, because it's such a fantastic space. Dotted along this deck, you'll find a few tables and chairs, as well as some upright sun loungers. Perfect for if you want to sit out with a good book and listen to the sound of Arcadia cutting through the waves. The promenade is also a great place to get your steps in, as 3 laps equals a mile, so it's a good way of trying to work off some of those cruise calories on board. My favourite spot, however, has to be right at the back of the ship, as you can stand here and take in the wake views, which I absolutely love. Decks 4 to 8 consist entirely of cabins, with ours being situated on Deck 6. For this short trip, we chose a deluxe balcony cabin. Granted, its design is a little dated, but we really enjoyed it and would happily stay in one of these cabins again. I'll do a full cabin tour in the near future, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Moving up to Deck 9, at the very front of the ship, you'll find the gym. This features a good number of gym machines, free weights, cross trainers and treadmills. There's also space for activities like spin classes, so there's plenty of opportunities to keep up with your fitness goals on board Arcadia. Directly in front of the gym, there's this small area of open deck space and felt like a bit of a secret deck, as I'm not sure how many people knew it was there. I bet it's a great spot to enjoy some forward-facing views, especially during sail away or when Arcadia is scenic cruising in places like Norway. Now leaving the gym, we pass through the Oasis Spa. This is the place to go if you fancy a bit of pampering, There's also a thermal spa on board, which we really wanted to try, but sadly there weren't any convenient time slots. However, it does feature a large hydrotherapy pool, sauna and steam rooms, as well as some ceramic relaxation beds. Midships, we encounter the Neptune Pool, which is Arcadia's all-weather pool deck thanks to its retractable glass roof, which was kept firmly shut during our December cruise. The pool seemed a decent size for the number of people on board and was a popular spot during our holiday. Nearby there's 3 hot tubs, which is always nice to see, as well as a good amount of sun loungers, which I imagine would be well utilised when Arcadia is sailing in sunnier climes. At one side of the pool deck there's a good sized bar offering a range of hot and cold drinks. Alternatively, you can head over to the Neptune Grill for a burger or hot dog if you're feeling a little peckish. Moving further aft, we encounter the Belvedere, which is Arcadia's buffet. This serves breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner and late night snacks, so you're guaranteed to find food here at most times of the day. Granted, we only ate here on a couple of occasions, but the food felt fairly average here and not as good quality as P&O's newer ships like Iona or Britannia. However, Yeyan was really impressed with the quality of their allergen markings, so he always knew which items did or didn't contain dairy. Now leaving the Belvedere, at the very back of Deck 9, you'll find the Aquarius pool deck. The pool is a great size and features 2 hot tubs. Although not all that utilised during our trip, it's still a fantastic spot on board Arcadia, as there's a generous amount of open deck space overlooking the wake of the ship. In warmer climates, I imagine there would be plenty of sun loungers to go round. I also liked the fact that there were these small areas of covered deck space if you're wanting to relax in the shade as well, or perhaps shelter from the rain if the weather isn't all that great. There's also a large bar nearby, so you're never too far away from your favourite cocktail. Walking up to Deck 10, there are these small areas of open deck that offer additional sun lounger space, as well as being a great vantage point to take in the sea or port views, and of course Arcadia's wake. Moving further forward, the open decks continue, offering yet more sun lounger space, as well as offering various deck games such as quoits and shuffleboard. Moving midships and stepping inside for a moment, we find the retreat. This space was often where various dance classes were held during our cruise, but otherwise this space didn't seem used all that much, which is a shame as it seemed like a really nice peaceful venue. Moving further forward and stepping outside again, there's a large amount of open deck space which surrounds the Neptune Pool's retractable roof. I really like this spot as it gave you a higher vantage point to watch sailaways, and I imagine it's a really nice and peaceful spot to take in the views on sea days. Stepping inside and moving to the forward section of the ship, you'll find the Crow's Nest, which is my favourite bar on the whole ship. Thanks to the numerous floor-to-ceiling windows, you get to enjoy some fantastic panoramic views over the front of the ship. As a result, it's a really popular space, day or night, for people to sit back and enjoy some drinks whilst taking in the views. In the evening, it's especially popular as there's often a cocktail pianist playing here, and it just helps make your evening feel that bit more special and sophisticated. The cocktails here were fantastic, with Yeyan and I making it our personal mission to give each of P&O's festive cocktails a go. It's a hard life, but someone has to do it. Although the venue may be a bit more subdued in terms of decor in comparison to her fleet mates, it's still a fantastic spot, and I'd highly recommend visiting one evening. Jumping up to Deck 11, there's an extensive sun deck which surrounds the ship's mast and would offer yet more sun lounger space, so I'm pretty sure you're never going to struggle to top up on your tan whilst on board Arcadia. From this deck, you also get a unique vantage point looking down the back of the ship, which I thought was really cool and is a great photo opportunity. Deck 11 continues around the midships portion of the ship. Here is where you'll find the East Bar, which was a real hidden gem and offers some great views over the Neptune pool as well as the forward section of the ship. It's also a great pre-dinner spot if you're dining in Sindhu, which is directly next door. Now, Sindhu itself is Arcadia's specialty Indian restaurant and is a firm favourite on board any P&O ship. Now, we dined here whilst we overnighted in Amsterdam and absolutely loved the meal here. All the dishes are priced individually, but we found our meal to be of good value as each dish was packed full of flavour with generous portion sizes to boot. The staff deserve a particular mention here as they were really friendly and constantly made us laugh throughout the whole evening. Leaving Sindhu and stepping outside, there's these small viewing areas which offers a similar view to what you get in the East Bar. As a result, you get another fantastic vantage point on board Arcadia, which I was really impressed with. Now, right at the aft of the ship, there's a small netted sports court which features several golfing nets as well as a multifunctional sports court, although sadly I couldn't record here as it was closed during our cruise. So there you have it, my ship tour of P&O Arcadia, and I really hope you enjoyed it. As we were only on board for 4 nights, I felt we only got a flavour of what it's like to cruise on board. However, I'd happily sail on Arcadia for a longer cruise if the price was right, as she offers a cruise experience which is traditional and good value, with the ship itself feeling very spacious with tons of open deck space and fantastic vantage points, perfect for her longer voyages. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please like and subscribe because it's always appreciated. If you want to know more about Cruising with Matthew, then please check out my other social media channels. The links are in the description below. I hope that you're doing well at the moment, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. So until next time, this is Cruising with Matthew, and thank you so much for watching.